good morning, preps, and happy Friday. We are so happy we have made it to the final day of term 3. Mr. Chamberlain and I are so proud of all of you and all your hard work you have put in during this term throughout remote learning, and you all should be so proud of yourself as well. Today, to finish off, we are going to be doing a fun writing activity that I know is going to make you all feel really nice and warm and fuzzy inside. And it's going to make one of your classmates feel exactly the same way. So today our learning intention is that we are learning to write a letter to one of our classmates, and we're actually going to send it to them via the chat function on Microsoft Teams. And your adult in your house can do that, or they can send your letter to Mr. Chamberlain or I, and we will send it directly to the person it's supposed to go to. So you will have found out through the chat function who you are writing a letter to today, and it's going to be someone in your class. So today I'm going to write an example of a letter, but my letter is going to be to Mr. Chamberlain. So the first thing we need to think about is, how do we open our letter? How are we going to address it to the person we are writing to? So I am writing to Mr. Chamberlain. So I could start with Dear Mr. Chamberlain, or I might start with To Mr. Chamberlain. So I'm going to write to, so I'm going to sound it out, and I'm using a texter just so you guys can see, but you'll be using your writing pencils at home. So to oo, and I know it starts with a capital letter, to oo, and I know an oo sound is made by an O. So to Mr. And remember, when we're writing someone's name, it always has a capital letter because it's a proper noun. Chamberlain. And you might get an adult or an older sibling to help you with how to spell who you're writing your letters name correctly at the top. So to Mr. Chamberlain. Then we're going to think about a question that we could ask our friend in our class. So it could be, how are you? What have you been doing during lockdown? It could be something like, what is your favourite toy? What is your favourite sport? What is your favourite thing we have done this term? It could be, what do you miss about school? So you need to think of any question that you could ask your friend. So I'm going to say to Mr. Chamberlain, how, so starting with a capital letter. So we're making sure that we're sounding out the words ourselves. Ow. Now, ow is an OW sound. How, av, at, v. So I can hear a at, and a v. How, have, finger space, you. Now, you is one of my magic words. So you might get that out to help you spell it. How have you been? In. Keep. In. And I know when it's an in sound at the end, it's an ing. How have you been keeping busy? Z. Now I know usually when it makes a z sound in a word, it's an s. Busy. In lockdown. Now I'm going to chunk up lockdown. So I know that k during the end is usually ck. Down. Ow. The owl sound is usually O-W, down. Now, I'm asking a question, so I want you to think about what piece of punctuation do I need to put at the end of my question. So I said, how have you been keeping busy during lockdown? I need a question mark. So I have written my first opening to Mr. Chamberlain. How have you been keeping busy during lockdown? Now, I'm going to tell them about Mr. Chamberlain about something that I have been doing during lockdown, and I want you to think about something you've been doing too. So I know I've been doing lots of puzzles, I've been going on bike rides, I've been doing some running. So I'm going to say I, and it's the start of a new sentence. So I need a capital letter, I, h, av, h, av, been, in, going, g, o, and then in, so I need my ing. I have been going on, o, n, lots, lots of runs. I'm going to say I have been going on lots of runs and bike rides because I'm going to use a connective to help me add some more details. So lots of runs and, which is one of our magic words, and so our connective, but Ike. But Ike, I can hear the vowel say its name. So but Ike. So that means there must be a magic E at the end. So, but Ike, Ides, same thing, says its name. So there must be a magic E. And this says ride, but I want rides, more than one. So I'm going to add an S at the end. So I've finished my sentence. So I need to remember my piece of punctuation at the end, which is a full stop. So let's read over my letter so far. To Mr. Chamberlain, how have you been keeping busy during lockdown? I have been going on lots of runs and bike rides. Now, I'm going to think about something I miss about school for my final sentence. Okay, so I want you to think, what are you missing about school? Is it your friends? Is it your teacher? Is it the classroom? Is it going on the computers at school or the iPads? Is it playing out on the playground? Do you miss doing our specialists? So do you miss doing art and PE and music and Japanese? So think about what are you really, really missing at school, and you're going to be writing about that to your friend. So the thing that I miss the most is I know that I really miss my class. So I'm going to say I miss Prep A so much. So starting with a capital, I, is, is, my. Now it's a magic word, my. So, and the I is actually a Y because sometimes Y makes an I at the end of a word. I miss my class. I can hear a sound. Class. Prep. Ep. A. So, and I'm going to do another so because I miss them so much. And I know Mr. Chamberlain misses Prep C so much. Ch. And I need to put a piece of punctuation at the end. This one, because I really want to emphasize how much I miss Prep A, I'm going to do an exclamation mark. And I'm actually going to do 2 because I really, really miss them. Now, the final thing we need to do is to write who the letter is from. So I'm going to say, and we start it on a new line, capital F, from Miss Aiello. And remember when you're writing your name that your name is a proper noun. So just like mine, I've got a capital for Miss and Aiello. Then you can draw a picture on the bottom if you like. So I'm going to read my letter once more over. To Mr. Chamberlain, how have you been keeping busy during lockdown? I have been going on lots of runs and bike rides. I miss my class Prep A so much. From Miss Aiello. So you're going to have a go at writing your letter by yourself, just like I did, sounding out the words. And if there are words that we weren't sure of how to spell and we gave it our best go, you can get an adult to write the correct spelling just above before you send your letter. So remember, you need to address your letter to your classmate. You need to ask them a question, because it's always nice when someone asks you a question. It tells you that they're thinking about you. Then you're going to tell them something that you've been up to during lockdown. And then you're going to share something that you have missed about school. So you're going to have 3 sentences in your letter. Now, I'm sure your classmates are so excited to receive a letter from someone. So make sure you try your personal best work, and I hope you enjoy reading your letter that you get from your classmate as well. Bye, Preps.